All right, Shalom, Shalom. We the Brothers of Great Millstone, the church in Birmingham, Alabama. And as always, want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Chakodash. Yeah, in the ancient Hebrew tongue, those would be the correct names. By the Heavenly Father, His only begotten Son, and the Holy Spirit. Also like to give double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the fellow laborers out there, and as always, you believers, the Akim as well as the Aqua, those of you who subscribe to the truth as well. So, welcome to another installment of As Foretold in the Scriptures, which again is an ongoing series dedicated to Bible prophecy, all right, as touching the things as written and foretold to come to pass here in the latter days, and is now amongst us. We're in the midst of prophecy and the unveiling of, the secrets of Yahweh Shai Shai, right? Pretty much this is the time where prophecy is in full bloom. You'll be hard pressed to, if you have eyes to see, of course, to not be compelled that this is that time, just from the things that's taking place. All right, the spirit of perplexity, beginning to rest and settle on the planet Earth, fulfilling Luke the 21st chapter, that's touching the evils that will befall, America, Babylon, the Great, and beyond, wherever the so-called white man pitches tents, because pursuant to Jeremiah the 49th chapter, right? Scripture speaks about, matter of fact, let's get that real quick, right? Jeremiah 49 and 8. See, the Lord has his sights set on the so-called white man, and he's going to be nothing more than another check on that list, right, of the nations whom Yahweh Shai have, rose and taken out of power. All right, so come on.
God, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 8. Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of the Dan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him.
Right, the Lord says he's going to bring the calamity of Esau upon him. Go ahead.
The time that I will visit him.
Right, the time that he will visit him, and this is that time. All right? So the Lord is set to visit the so-called white man. The judgments that we read about is in preparation, right? The Lord prepared him for the so-called white man. Now, in this lesson right here, we're going to try something a little new. Going to pretty much, continue from yesterday at camp. It got a little rough out there. The rain. Oh, did you know this nigga Lupe Fiasco? Yeah, he was supposed to perform. The Lord rained everything out. The whole world games, for the most part, the outside events, it was rained out in the spirit. Well, if you watched the live street teaching yesterday, you know that everything got rained out pretty much. But we was touching on the quotes of the so-called white man, which pretty much condemn him. You got to remember, court is in session. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back with it. We're going to bring back those quotes. We're going to bring them out. If you're in court, you display the evidence. You might pull up phone records, conversations. Yeah, which further condemns the corporate. All right. Matter of fact, whole Luke 18th chapter on deck. Anybody got anything before we get started?
Okay.
Yep. Come on.
2 Nephi 6, starting at 18. And it said, Behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth.
Yep. Read that again up.
2 Nephi 6 and 18. And it said, Behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth.
Right, in which that word dwell goes into pretty much laying your hat. Matter of fact, look that word up real quick.
What is it?
Dwell. Because if you paying attention, the Lord is not just visiting the earth randomly. He's going to visit those who dwell on the planet Earth. All right, go ahead.
Verse 19.
It's like, right? It's like that.
The word dwell, Google definition, it reads, live in or at a specific place.
See?
Similar words, it says to reside.
Right. Live in or at a specific place to reside. This applies to all of you who have become acclimated to this system. This is where you hang your hat. Matter of fact, you got it.
God, it says hang one's hat.
Yep, see, hang one's hat. That's equivalent to you kicking your feet up. That's the place where you lodge. You know? So for all of you who have made the so-called white man your refuge, you put your trust, all of your stock into this system, all of your eggs in this one basket, America, Babylon the Great, or this beast system in its entirety, right? This would mean that you dwell here. And those are the two extremes, because remember, the elect is referred to as pilgrims. And that goes back to Noah. Noah was building an ark. It was a psychological, overtone to him building an ark. The ark itself represented that he wasn't planning to be there. All right, come on. Is there any more on that?
Come on. I jumped down. It says that word dwell. It says lie where the heart of the matter dwells.
Whoa.
So it's like just going back. It said they dwelling in this place through their mind first and foremost. By the way, conforming and shaping and molding themselves to the so-called white man, abide under his shadow. That's why a nigga got 3, 5, and 2-year plans, because they planning on being here.
Right.
So you got.
Yeah, in this place, their desires, intents, it all revolves around what the so-called white man is laid out. So yeah, it starts with the mind. Your desire is to be here. So that drives you. That's why when you hear this message, it don't sit well with you, because your plans revolve around America being here. Your little girl, and America has to be the backdrop for, your plans to be fulfilled. All right, so anybody got something before we go back? Come on.
Back out.
Yeah, you got it.
Romans 12:2.
Beautiful.
And be not conformed to this world.
But it said, be not conformed. That's a commandment, man.
Yeah, God.
Not to be conformed to this place, man. Pretty much put on the same uniform as this devil, man. Conforming to his ways and fashions. You ain't got to have a damn American flag flying at your woman. But if you agree, and you doing things to contribute to this system, man, woe unto you. That's why I said woe unto the world and those that dwell therein.
Yeah, that brings to mind also Isaiah the 30th chapter. Woe unto them that go down into Egypt and who cover with the covering. You're a servant. You're a working component for America. Motherfucker walking around, I voted. Nigga, you already got you already got a McDonald's uniform, a visor, and I voted. That means that you are deeply. Oh yeah, you have been confined to the dark lower regions of Babylon. Because this is a pit. This is a pen. Yeah, that's a straight up headset. Yeah.
When I voted.
When I voted. That. Yeah, you got that.
I got the word conform. Strong's G 4964. It says to conform oneself, one's mind and character.
One's mind and character.
Yep.
So just going back, that's what starts your walk. Is the destination begin in your mind, your doctrine, man. So you what tells you that was that Proverbs the 7th chapter. Do not incline unto her ways.
Beautiful. Somebody get that. Yeah, get that real quick, Baba Kasar. Incline to her ways. And that reason why I want you to get that, because that complements what we just quoted in Isaiah, the 30th chapter. You taking a step back when you subscribe to the ways of America. All right, you got it up?
Yeah, kind. The book of Proverbs 7, verse 25. Let not thine heart decline to her ways.
Right, decline. That's taking a step back. Pretty much. Yep, go ahead.
Go not astray in her paths.
Right, go ahead.
For she have cast down many wounded, yet many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell.
Right, so to ensure your destruction, then lodge, house. That's the dwelling place. You dwell in this house, you lodge, you hang your hat here in America, then certainly you're going to be reduced to hell. You going to hell. Yeah, you going to hell. Go ahead.
Going down to the chambers of death.
Right, going down to the chambers of death, man. So this is what this place develops, a short ticket to hell. Which that hell is the destruction. All right? Being brought to a low state. So this is a sure way that you know that like you get on the exit, but you get on the entry ramp on the highway, and it takes you somewhere, man. So when you come into America and you lodge here, then it's a sure way you going down to. All right, come on. You got more on that?
Yeah, a little bit more. It says to another's pattern, fashion oneself according to.
Yep, you can understand that.
And just adding on what the brothers were saying, you declining yourself into the way of Esau, man, which basically is gonna lead you back into death, you know. But I'm gonna go back to Romans 12 and verse 2. It says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yep.
See, and that's the point. The renewing of your mind. So that shows that conforming to the word, it starts in the mind first. Or that's why Scripture says that you're not going to stay upon him that smote him, but to stay upon the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, the Holy One of Israel. It starts in the mind, man. You know, and that process is a build up, you know, for us to flee from this place by the way of these different philosophies. You know, when this man came with his advance with the jab, you didn't conform to that. You were astray from that. Then, you know, when that thing come, you know, you didn't conform. You know, that battle in the mind. You know.
Yeah, because Scott just asked like as you're saying, when that thing comes, which that's the elephant in the room, we know we eventually always get around to that, man. But when that comes, there's going to be certain spirits that's not going to concede. They're going to resist the advances. We're going to shun and totally just reject this man altogether. That's going to be that meeting point. You're going to try to penetrate us. We're going to say, nope, we want no part of it. See that? Yeah. Come on.
I got some real quick.
Yeah,
This is Proverbs 1 and 10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not.
Right, consent not, thou not. And those sinners falls under the banner of Esau, man. You see, saying that he has the power to send forth certain decrees, you know, certain ordinance, but it's driven by what? Wickedness, ungodliness, perverseness. So you are being enticed. Oh, and that goes back to the whore, Revelation 17th chapter. That cup in her hand, all right, that golden cup, in which the nations drunk and became mad. Well, Esau tried to entice you. You know, here, take this, and then all of a sudden, some mother give you a drink and spike it. You shouldn't be taking a drink from nobody anyway, you know. But that's what they're trying to give you. They're trying to give you their philosophies and wayward ideas. You see, which again is twisted and perverse, man. It has nothing to do with Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, come on.
Con.
That's like you did one more on that up.
No, that was it.
Let's read it one more time.
Con. This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not.
Right, consent thou not. So that's a commandment.
That's okay.
And you know what? That builds up to this moment. Because the scriptures is like the playbook. There's going to be a point where it has to be executed and you have to follow the instructions. All right? Because those instructions is going to keep you from the advances of Esau, that son. Matter of fact, let's prove that before we go back there. Go to Proverbs 2 real quick, Art. Yep, you know what I want. This truth serves as that hedge that's going to keep us. Oh, that's heavy, man. I was watching Wow. Today is a series on Disney. I don't know if y'all better watch it yet. Yeah, man, it's bad. And I was watching the Yellowstone edition, and there was this deer and her little one, and they was trying to get away from these bears and shit, and they end up getting away because they went into the water. The water hid the scent. It killed the scent. And I was just meditating on it, like real talk. I was meditating in spirit, like, damn, that's heavy, man. It was the waters. The water. When they got into the waters, the waters actually killed the scent and hid them from the bears, man. I was like, man, that's the spirit. These waters pretty much serve as the same. It's going to keep us from the advances of the predator. You know? He's not going to be able to sniff you out. What the scriptures say in Isaiah, the 59th chapter.
But that's standard.
Yeah, that's standard. All right? All right, so come on, let's get this real quick.
God, the book of Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 10. When wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee.
Right.
Understanding shall keep thee.
Right, so you're going to be kept, you're going to be preserved by way of discretion, in which that discretion stems from the testimony of Yahweh. All right? That's the wisdom that the scriptures are speaking about. Go ahead.
To deliver thee from the way of the evil man.
See, to deliver thee from the way, of the evil man. Go ahead.
From the man that speaketh forward things.
See that? So that complements what the brother read in Proverbs, the 1st chapter. If sinners entice thee. So that same evil man is those sinners, which goes back to Esau. And again, as promised, we're going to go into these quotes where this man really condemned himself. See, we at the point where this thing is going to be made obvious. What's that, 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter? The end is made manifest. All right, so come on, we can go back. Did you have anything else?
Romans 12.
Okay, come.
I got some real quick.
You got it. Yep.
They're going back to
and if brothers got some, just bring it out. We'll follow suit.
This Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Right, and you know what? That's another thing. Why do we have to convince you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that you got enemies? Huh? Niggas, man. That's why, man, you know, it's almost like get it on with the judgments already, man. Like, get rid of these niggas. It's hard to even stomach. We was watching a couple of clips. Before we turned on, just, you know, giving you a glimpse and an in-depth look into the mind of a nigga, the 2/3. Yep, well, I did the 1st chapter. Yeah, because they are nothing more than a wild, foaming at the mouth rabbit dog. What you gonna do with that? You can't pet them, no, you have to just put them down. Yep, go ahead. Yep, read that again.
So Rock 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Right,
and that process, you can't reverse that process. For the most part, when iron rust, it continues to worsen and worsen. So that's the same as the so-called white man. Here we are, late in the game, and you expect this man to just all of a sudden detour and you know, reinvent himself. Now he's a peaceful. No, he's built like that. He was engineered by Yahweh Shema Shah to be the devil. All right? Come on.
I got a quote just to bag you up.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to throw them quotes out there. Like sporadically. There you go, yeah.
This a quote from Andrew Jackson.
Oh, that's dope, man. It's just like, you know, when you're in court, you have a manuscript, you have a transcript, right? Yeah, we producing evidence. It's out of the mouth. This is out of the devil's mouth himself. All right, come on.
It says, no one needs to think that the world can be ruled without blood.
Whoa.
The silver sword must be red and bloody.
Whoa. Come on, man. That's a truth. That's true too, because the sword. Why have the sword? Well, matter of fact, give me that in Romans. Yeah, give me that in Romans, because Esau know what to do with the sword. Yeah, because the Lord, you know, in His wisdom, right? He designed Esau. The sword is what would you call it? An accessory. He goes with Esau. You know. Yeah. That's why Andrew Jackson, that was that devil said that. Go back to that. We're going to pull that back up. Go ahead, up.
Book of Romans chapter 13, verse 4. For he is the minister of the Most High to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid.
Right. And we talking about the powers that be, which in this case is who? The so-called white man. He's a minister of the Most High. That word minister translates to servant. He's doing the bidding of Yahweh by Shema Shah. The so-called white man is nothing more than a prop. All right, in this drama. Go ahead.
For he beareth not the sword in vain.
See, he beareth not the sword in vain. And that's essentially what Andrew Jackson said. Read that again, the quote from that devil.
It says, no one need think that the world can be ruled without blood. The silver sword shall and must be red and bloody.
Right, it shall and it must be. Because that's the reason why he was giving it. He's not going to bear it in vain. If he was giving it, then this is how he's going to pursue, his desires of ruling. He's not going to sit down with the nations and say, hey, let's come together. And when he do it all the time, he's looking to cross you out. Like if he make a treaty with you, the purpose behind it is to break that treaty. The treaty is nothing more than a means to lure you to sleep. So you say, yep, I'm safe. I'm going to take his word. He said that we have a treaty here. Then when you go to sleep, the nigga is, that's why he's a hunter, because he pretty much snare you with his words, all right, with his treaties, agreements, legislations. It creates a false sense of security. You're lured to sleep, and bam, he got you. Go ahead, up.
That was it.
That was it? That was on this right here.
Let me finish it off slightly. It says, for he beareth not the sword in vain, for he is the minister of the Most High, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil.
Right. That's why the Lord allowed the so-called white man to open up on certain jakes. That's nothing more than the judgment of the Lord being executed through his sword. Okay, and what's that sword? What's that? Psalms 17. All right, so anybody else got something out here?
Go.
All right, let's throw it back there, and then we could bring those quotes out.
God, this book of Sirach with Ecclesiastes 9 and 13. It says, keep thee far from the man that have power to kill.
Yep. Beautiful. So, read that again.
God, it says, keep thee far from the man that have power to kill.
Right, and it's talking about a man, an actual man. So scriptures, that's another commandment. Keep thee far from the man that have power to kill. Meaning you shouldn't make a alliance with this man. What sense does that make? You going into an agreement with a bloody man. His fate is going to, hey, that's equivalent to, you got a guy in the neighborhood. He's known for cutting and shooting, and he's a thief, a robber, a murderer, and you jump in the car with him. Well, you should expect to feel the scrap metal, somebody on fire, then you're going to feel the brunt of that judgment. So that's why the scriptures say, keep thee far from him, man. All right? And you brought it out earlier, the elect will no longer stay upon him, because the more you put this man, in your circumference as being one that you trust, your future revolves around what this man is doing. Now you snare. You have to develop the mind of a pilgrim, one who understands that this place is temporal, nothing but a mist, a shadow. And your sights, your affection should be on things above, and that's concerning the world to come, the kingdom of heaven. All right, come on.
It says, so shalt thou not doubt the fear of death.
Mm-hmm.
And if thou come unto him, make no fault, unless he take away thy life prison.
Yep.
It says, remember that thou goest in the midst of snares.
Right, yep. And this is this man's kingdom amidst the snares. All right, the pit. And those snares was set in play to trap Israel, to snare you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Go ahead.
It says, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city.
Yep.
No, I think it's the 9.
Yeah, come, we got something real quick to support that. Anybody got something?
Real quick.
All right, come on.
Is Psalms 140:1. Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man.
Oh, no, I think it's
It says, preserve me from the violent man. God, and just adding on what the brother just said, man. This devil, only thing he seek is bloodshed and death, man. So why would you want to be close to him? You know, why would you want to get up close to him? Get closer to his ways. Because as soon as you get closer to his ways, you're going to die. You know?
yeah, that's it.
This is Psalms 141 and verse 9. Keep me from the snares which they have laid for me. Yeah, keep us from the snares, because everything Esau has laid out is a snare. You know, it's meant to trap you up, meant to entangle you in this system. All right, and the gins of the workers of iniquity. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, which that I withal escape. So we petition Yahweh shall to lead us from the way of the wicked man, so he can fall in his own traps.
Come on, yeah. So let's, anybody got anything else? All right, so let's go back over here. Yeah.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, Sirach, chapter 8, verse 15. Travail not by the way with a bold fellow, lest he become grievous unto thee. For he would do according to his own.
Because that was the so-called white man eventually going to do. He's becoming grievous unto you. All right, go ahead.
For he would do according to his own will, and thou shalt perish with him through his folly.
Right, so that's equivalent to you being in league. Yeah, you being in league with a knucklehead. You're going to perish with him through his folly. So for all of you who have made America your refuge, then prepare to perish with the so-called white man. What's that? Isaiah the 13th chapter? Yep. Whosoever is found, or whosoever is joined, should I say, unto him shall be thrust through. All right, go ahead.
Strive not with an angry man, and go not with him into a solitary place. For blood is as nothing in his sight.
Right, for blood is as nothing in his sight. Which goes back to some of those quotes we were bringing out yesterday. Matter of fact, let's go there. Let's get into some of those quotes, and we'll go back here.
This is
because the scripture speaks about the bloody man. So this is not a random thing. It's not like we shoot from the hip. We don't know. We're not sure here. No, we convinced. We persuaded. Like the brothers were going into it. All starts with a thought. We have been convinced through the Spirit that that's the devil. All right? And that's what the prophecy say would happen. Here in the latter days, this man will be pointed out, he will be identified and targeted. That's why Cain even said in the Spirit, whosoever shall find me shall slay me. All right? So that's the time we're in. And that's usually the process. The criminal been wreaking havoc all this time. You know, your nail missing. And you put then you put surveillance up and you found it was him. All right, go ahead.
It's from Baron Rothschild. He says, the time to buy is when there's blood running in the street.
Right. So this is this man's way of, conducting business through bloodshed. The man said, look, the time to buy is when blood is running in the streets. And that was proven, for an example, with 9/11. When you go into the motives behind it, right? Because when you have a detective, for an example, investigating a crime, first thing he wanted to know is who benefits from the murder. That's what they want to know. Who will benefit from this? So when you look at 9/11, right, it was a bunch of countries corporations that benefited from that, man, because it brought about that war. And the Bushes, for an example, the Bushes, they was prepared into the stratosphere of the elites based upon that, man. Because they benefited, from that blood. And that's the so-called white man. They actually gained behind war, man. Come on out.
This is from a quote from David Rockefeller. It says, we are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis.
Right. See, that's fucking dope. That's what we dealing with him, man. This man can't advance. He can't see himself advancing to the next level without killing you. Can we get that real quick? They'll continue to gather together.
Yeah.
Right. And also, what's that, Micah? They playing.
Oh yeah, the second chapter.
Right.
Yeah,
we got some over it.
Yeah, I just want to bag you up about,
Okay.
about who benefits off that blood that run the street.
Mhm.
There's a phrase called "cui bono." It's
Yep.
Latin, and it says it reads this definition of "cui bono": who stands or stood to gain from a crime, and so might have been responsible for it.
Right. Yep. And that's the mentality that you go in with when you're trying to get to the bottom of something. Who would have benefited from this? You know what I mean? And when you trace, you follow the paper trail, so to speak, it all goes back to the so-called white man. Yeah, people get tired of that too, man. We understand. You got to be in the right spirit. That's why you had the guy to come out and say you got to be on a level to listen to Great Millstone. You got to be seasoned. Yeah, I get it. Like, if you ain't in the right spirit, you ain't meant to entertain this. All right? We're going to constantly get on Esau. That's why, what's that, Ezekiel the 35th chapter? Set thy face against Mount Seir. It won't make sense if you don't have you know what I mean? You got to get a cop something. Somebody come, it got to be something that happened. You got to have a source to the crime. Well, this guy, he did it. Then now the investigation can proceed. Other than that, what's the point? We gotta blame somebody, man. And as it were, yeah, we got it as a lesson. We gotta blame somebody. Somebody the reason why our people is in these on these reservations, barrios, and ghettos, projects. So you gotta blame somebody for the 3-strike law. Your uncle did 75 years because he stole a candy bar. That was his 3rd strike, man. Come on.
Kind of going back in 2 Ezra 6 and 19, and I will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly.
Right.
With their
Yep. Now we're in a time where the Lord is beginning to make inquisition. Matter of fact, somebody give me that in I want to say that Isaiah 52 and around the 14th. Yeah, I will, please.
Please call out.
Yeah, Isaiah 52. Whoever can find that. I think about the 14th or something like that.
Oh, you told me from that thing.
Or was it Isaiah? Is it Isaiah 52?
It might be 50.
Might be 51.
What it is?
Yeah, he should plead the cause of his people. I thought it was Isaiah 52.
What?
Oh yeah, Isaiah 51 and 22.
51, okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Wow.
Isaiah 51 and 22 says, "Thus said the Lord Yahweh Shai, the power that plead the cause of his people."
See, the power that pleaded the cause for his people. So that's the Inquisition. Meaning that would be a time where the Lord will put a heavy spirit on the planet Earth, a cry out for justice. We'll call out our offenders. It won't be a shot in the dark, just speculation where I believe it's this. No, we'll point them out. All right, that's the Lord pleading our cause. And it's all being backed and supported by the scriptures. See, this is where we're validated, man. Remember when you read St. John the 7th chapter, the Lord said he testified against their works because they're evil. So yeah, we are crying out, but it's through by way of the scriptures. So it's really Yahweh Shai condemning. All right, come on.
It says, behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury.
Now, what does that represent? It represents a transition. I take the cup from you. Go ahead.
It says, thou shalt no more drink it again, but I will put it into the hand of them.
That's the transition. That's how we know that that's prophecy and it's speaking about this time. It's a transition taking place on the planet Earth. All right, the so-called white man is being brought low, and simultaneously, the nation of Israel, beginning at the elect, is being elevated. That's a heavy moment, man, in prophecy that the true prophets, the men of Yahweh Shema Shah, desired to see. And that's in the book of Ecclesiastes 25, right? Among many other scriptures, but in particular, Ecclesiastes, the 25th chapter, where it says what? Happy is he, or one of the things that the Lord counted happy, is he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies. That's that transition of power. That fall is equivalent to the cup being taken from us and given over to Esau. Now, he got to digest the fury of Yahweh Shema Shah. We had to suck it up. Our people had to suck up their women being out of order, your children being out of order, your enemies ruling over you. You had to suck up being discontinued from your heritage. We had to deal with the fury of Yahweh Shema Shah. Now, I'm going to say something, right? And I find this heavy. The Lord, he loved us, right? And that's in the book of Malachi, the first chapter. The Lord loved us, and look how he handled us. So how much more Esau when he's on record of saying he hates Esau? This side, the Lord dealt with us like this, and he loved us. But imagine how Esau, man, you don't even, hey, I can't see how this man gonna get through the first, I'm being honest, right? Just honest. I don't know how he's gonna get through the first hour in the kingdom. When we first have our way with him, how you gonna get through that, man? The Lord gonna actually have to preserve that nigga, man. Hey, because he's not gonna be giving up the ghost like that. He's gonna be trapped in that body, he's gonna be beating the shit out of him, man. All right, come on.
It says, but I will put it into the
Nigga,
hand
wake
of them
up, skin and bones, go back to work. That's why we're gonna have them new bodies to rejoice in that. Come on.
It says, but I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as a street to them that went over. Right.
The key word is over. So yeah, they're on top of us. And we conceded. When you lay down, that means you're not trying to fight back. That's why the scriptures say you have stretched forth your hand against such who was at peace with thee. You don't see Jake killing each other. You don't see Jake descending upon the state capitol building, the White House, right? And performing a coup. No, they killing each other. They ain't, they're not threatening the so-called white man's, power. But the scriptures say what? When thou cease to spoil, then thou shalt be spoiled. So eventually what's going to happen is the Lord is going to take away your power, and then we're going to be given power. That's when the judgment is going to be executed in their perfection. Yep. Oh, okay. Slaggy, I was about to say that because it's saying, when we're using someone to say, where's Bible? Where is that?
Yeah.
Because, right, the way the Bible was presented to most, it was presented to you with this world-friendly love. That's why you have organs, you know what I'm saying? Dance team, they got the praise team. Yeah. That's not what the Bible is about. All right, when you read, that's not what a praise team, when you think about it, you should be pissed, man. You think about all the hours you was wasting. You watching a praise team. That ain't got nothing to do with scriptures. When you read, what's that, Ezekiel, the second chapter, scriptures tell you that this book entails mourning, lamentations, and woe, right? You're gonna know that. Watch when the power shortages come. Oh, matter of fact, anything else I have? Yeah, come. I'm gonna get to that quote. The power, I think.
Finish off, 2 Edges, chapter 6, verse 19, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly.
That's dealing with who? The so-called white men. The afflictions, that continual stroke of oppression, which we bear those wounds. All right, when you hear niggas say I'm an African American, are you seeing the guy who was venting? But man, won't y'all come to the hood? Yeah, that was a wound. Yeah, that was a wound. Yeah, because his mindset. Remember, the scripture said, "Wounded spirit who can bear." Yeah, you guys are wounded. Your reasoning is not intact. It's not a sound, a wholesome. I mean to say, it's not a wholesome way of thinking. Imagine trying to debate that nigga. It's gonna spill over into more and more. Nigga got you in a chokehold. Go ahead.
Isaiah said they dig into the earth and curse their power.
Yeah,
They're driven to madness. Man.
Right, yeah. That's right, yep. Motherfuckers just in the grave, they're driven. Yep, come on.
Okay, going back, 2 Edges 6 and 19, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness. Mm-hmm. And when the affliction of Zion.
Right, they hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness. Right, the ungodliness of Esau. Go ahead.
And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled.
Mm-hmm. That's the time we're in. All right, come on.
God, this is a quote from Harry Kissinger. It says, "Who controls the food supply controls the people."
Right. See, this is the reasoning of Esau. Who controls the food supply controls the people. Go ahead.
Who controls the energy control whole continents.
Right. And Esau, they're going to lay that on the table. They're going to compromise that too. Because the famine that we speak of is going to be man-made. It's going to be engineered by man. But it's going to go back to Yahweh Shemashah. That's the Lord working on the left hand, using his sword to cut off the supplies. And the energy and power falls under that, right? So-called white man, all you niggas who stunting, you don't control your power. Because let's say if the power go out, even if you got the money to pay for it, you on hold. You call, all the power you got, the money and the stunting moments, you reduce to calling a robot. Now, they got, the power is out there. Man, you got to sit there and wait. You have 100. Oh, you know how you call now? They might say you have 2-3 customers in front of you. Shit gonna be heavy, man. Cause you have 2,412 customers in front of you. Yep, and that's when reality gonna set in. What's that? 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter. The day is gonna declare it. All the doctrines is gonna go out the window. That goes into Luke, the 21st chapter, that's touching the perplexity of men. It goes into what? Not having the answers. That's going to be a heavy moment too, man. That happened in the time of Noah. All right, go ahead.
God, it says, who controls, so I can read it again. It says, who controls the food supply controls the people. Who controls the energy can control whole continents. Who controls money can control the world.
Right. And that's Esau's mentality, because it goes back to the blessing. He know in the spirit, this is his time to rule. That's just how he feel in the spirit. Really, when you think about all these Edomites, they got that spirit of, I'm running this shit. That's why you see they fuck with a bear. Edomite in the woods try to try some crazy shit. Because deep down, they know that right now, this is their time. But we're in a time now with that cup. All right, we read that in Isaiah, the 51st chapter. That cup of trembling is been taken out of our hand, and is being given over to Esau. That's a process, you know, and that symbolizes this transition of power that's taking place here on the planet Earth. If you can't digest that form of thinking, then there's a good chance that you're not going to be able to dwell in this era. Because if you think the Bible is going to continue to be read in America, like the Bible, the Bible going to center right? No. All right, come on. Anything else? That was it on that?
Another quote from Henry Kissinger. It says, depopulation should be the highest priority.
Right. Yeah. See that? Yep. Yeah. Come on. You got a precept?
I got a quote.
Oh, okay. Come on. So it said, read that one more time.
It says,
it's the mindset of these Edomites, but we don't marvel at it because it's consistent with his nature. When Scripture speaks about the bloody man, he was given a sword. And Andrew Jackson said it best. The quote we opened up with. He said that sword, it wasn't meant to be silver. It was meant to have blood on it. That's a bad quote, man. And imagine you in the next room and that nigga, your fate in his hand. You overhear this nigga talking. There's no mercy, man. And he making sense of it, yeah. Like he's reasoning, look, nope, my sword is to kill you. I don't got no other choice here. Yeah, because why? Because that's your lot. That's the role you inherited in this drama. You the killer. Go ahead, Up. The killers. I go back to Yosemite.
Yeah.
Devils, man. And we don't understand saying it's him, man. And you know, we actually saying it's him who killed me. Because when you really go into it, it was eerie. And that's why the scripture say the so-called white man, great fear fell upon him when he saw us raised back up on our feet. The one you killed showed up and caught on you. And pretty much, that's what make the testimony valid. That's it. Yeah, come on.
It says depopulation should be the highest priority of foreign policy towards the third world.
Right. So this is the approach. Depopulation, man. That goes back to, could we get that in Ecclesiasticus again?
The book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 8, verse 16. Strive not with an angry man, and go not with him into a solitary place, for blood is as nothing in his sight.
Right, blood is nothing in his sight. So where you might toil, you might say, man, I don't want to put this man to death. You know what I mean? Esau like, man, that's the first solution to the problem. Oh, you know what? They just kill everybody. That's what depopulation all about. Yeah. You know, Esau reasoning, he's figuring out a problem. He got a problem in front of him. And he figured out by just killing you. You know? That's his attribute, the sword. Come on.
It says, for blood is as nothing in his sight, and where there is no help, he will overthrow thee.
Right, and that help begins and ends with Yahweh Shai, man. That's the help. That's that hand that's going to preserve us, that's going to cover us. Remember Yahweh Shai said, I have not lost none that thou hast given me. So he's that hand that the jewels of the Lord is in as a protection. So if Yahweh Shai is not with you, if that spirit, what's that, Ezekiel the 9th chapter? That Tawah, right? That's really Yahweh Shai. If that spirit is not on you, that hedge of protection, then you're going to be done. The so-called white man is bloodthirsty. He's driven by his lust for the blood of the children of Israel. And we read quotes, man, from this devil, you know, that shows you that idea, again, is consistent with his nature. All right, so come on.
This is from Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh.
Salakia, did you read the one there?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, let's get that. He said, I want to bag you up. All right, come on.
This is a quote from Joseph Stalin. He says that death is a solution to all problems.
Whoa, yeah, see, that's spirit. Yeah, death is the solution to all problems. That's how this man reasoned. You know? How can you sit down and deal with someone like that? How can you reason with someone like that? Read that again, huh?
It says, death is the solution to all problems. No man, no problem.
Oh my goodness.
That's a sick deal, man.
Yeah. That's almost like no body, no case. No face, no case. Yeah, they go back to Esau, man. Whoa. You got more on that up?
That was it on
All right, cool.
This is Margaret Sanger, founder of Planned Parenthood. The most successful educational approach to the Negro is through a religious appeal. We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population.
Right, and that broad right there, she's pretty much the cornerstone, if you will, of these what you call them, these Planned Parenthoods all throughout the ghettos of America. Oh, by the way, Hillary Clinton, that was a hero. You see? But she said what? We don't want the Negroes to know that our desire is to kill you, man. And see, this is where that struggle in the womb makes all the more sense. You can't somehow patch that up. That friction between the two is from the heavens. See, that's why the so-called white man can only do what he was designed to do. You got something else?
I got a script.
All right, come on. Huh?
It's Genesis 27 and verse 42. And these words of Esau, her eldest son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob, her youngest son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee.
Right. This is how this man looked to comfort himself, by killing you, man. Oh, that's why he said, at the days of mourning for my father, then I will slay my brother Jacob, man. And that's heavy when you go into that. Because that was actually activated as touching this lifetime after Yahweh Shah, which is the father, Isaac. After that, what happened? 70 AD, that's when they started pursuing to slay their brother Jacob as touching this time. Because remember, the Lord is not going to go back and say, oh, you know what? Since they're in America now, let me add something real quick. No, that dynamic between Jacob and Esau is so powerful to where it resonates even now. We don't have to wait on another writing to come out to justify us getting on Esau. We go into the old sayings, the scriptures. So even when you go back to Genesis, it pretty much gives you a glimpse into this age-old friction, if you will, that's on display betwixt the so-called white man versus you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Yep, the Latinos and Native Americans. Because you have a simple Negro, some black nigga, right? No, it's some goddamn shaft. He got a problem with the natives and Latinos being Israelites, man. And then they rally and cry as if they don't have the same common enemy. Are you kidding me? When you go into the history of the so-called Latin tribes, the Native Americans, who's the one common enemy? The so-called white man. That's why the scriptures say Judah and Israel would be oppressed together, man. Again, which proves it all plays out in its perfection in this lifetime. Else we wouldn't be able to blame the so-called white man. Because he'll be gone. That's the wishes too. Like vocab. No, ain't no more Edomites. That's what you wish, because the criminal wish he was not. But as it were, we call him. No, you here on the scene of the crime. Yeah, a fugitive and a vagabond. Going back to Genesis, the 4th chapter. Yep, come on out.
Got something. It's Psalms 10 and verse 8.
Yeah.
He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. Right.
See, in the secret places, behind the scenes, the so-called white man is murdering the innocent. You know, and it starts with his legislations and laws. You know, this man have access. You got to think about it, man. You don't produce your own food. That's how much of a volatile situation you in. This devil, he pretty much premeditate bringing certain foods in your neighborhoods, You don't see certain Whole Food stores around Jake. It's just churches, you know? Yeah, and that hot dog from Circle K, with that's the demons on him, man. The guy, the cop had one on him. He ate a hot dog from Circle K and started setting his sights on us. Yeah. Fagos.
Yeah.
Come on.
It says his eyes.
That's an example of the so-called white man privately murdering the innocent. But it goes further than that. We just throwing examples out there. All right, it's a wide range of things that applies to that offense. From something as subtle as these devils literally, certain Edomites literally joining the police force to vicariously live out their fantasy of killing a Jake. Go ahead.
It says his eyes are privily set against the poor.
Yep. That's the so-called white man. He said, oh, that word against. You can't make that out to be nothing else. It means what it say. Go ahead.
He lied in wait secretly as a lion in his den.
Whoa. And that den represents what? Those secret meetings. Go ahead.
He lied in wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draws them into his net.
Right, when he draws them into his net, man. That's sick, man, because the so-called white man lures you in. That's why we read one of the quotes. Whoever controls the food, so now you able to create, the narrative, which we all know it goes with the Yahweh Shema Shah. But as it were, this man set up he designed a system, which by the way, that word system goes into the pit. So that's another example of the scriptures being spot on. Scripture speaks about the pit. That it actually goes back to the word system. That's why you hear Jake say, man, I'm in the system, man. Yeah, you in the pit. Yeah, you caught up in the system, right? You caught up in the pit. So this man have laid out this maze, which was set up and designed to snare the prey. Come on. And Jake is driven by their own lust. That's the essence of a trap too. So here we are. We're in this wilderness, dark, the land of darkness. It's snares and traps everywhere. And the brother read that the embattlements of the city, but the Lord through his mercy gave us a light as an exit out. So, we desire to be free from the pit, but our people, they have grown accustomed to it. So just like that rat, his desire is the cheese, he smells it, and then he's floating to the trap. That's our people. But the so-called white man is the one that laid the trap. Anything else? Matter of fact, somebody hold Psalm 59 on deck. So at the top. Anything else out there?
I got this quote.
Oh, yeah, kind of. Yep, and if it's more quotes, bring the quotes. Yep. As a matter of fact, we're going to start over here, with the quotes, and we'll come back this way.
I got two more.
Okay, come.
Different BG.
Yeah. You want to try too, man. You a sick dude, man. All right, BG. Yeah, the original hot boy. This nigga, man. You think about you fucking doubles, right? They set the narrative of they'll have these old ghetto, some nigga Larry who, them niggas ain't never did nothing as gangster as this. Yeah. You bow up all the food. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So now y'all gotta get it from me, man. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create genetically. Yeah. I'm gonna run tests and I'm gonna destroy. But he did what he did. This nigga destroyed all the crops. He slaughtered the livestock, and there was one article. I believe they even had footage on it where they would destroy all the milk.
Oh yeah,
they were dumping all the milk out. Nobody questioned it. Nobody said nothing, man. But we understand what's going on. That's Esau, making his move. All right, come on.
This from BG, it reads, the world today has 6.8 billion people. It says that's headed up to about 9 billion. If we do a really great job on jabs and healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 to 15%.
Yep. So you're talking about killing off everybody, man.
And there's another one, this from Ted Turner.
But can I say something? Why? First of all, and we did the video on it when we played the clip. Lord will, we find that again. But he had the chart. This nigga had the clicker, and he showed the graph where the population was spiking.
Yeah.
And he said, "Now this really scares me." What the fuck you mean? Life. But we know why. Because you're opposite of life. You're adverse. So you're driven by death. That's why the sword is synonymous with your being. So his thing is to cut off the population. And that's what a disease does. It stunts your growth. It stunts your life. That's why motherfucker tell you, you got 6 months to live. Because it's based upon that cancer. So as we project the future, the Lord did that as being a physician. He said, look, if I come and not, then there will be no more flesh. That was the diagnosis. If I don't perform this laser surgery,
The chemo.
that chemotherapy was going to be those missiles. If I don't perform that, then you're going to die. There's going to be no more. Yep, come on.
This from Ted Turner. It reads, a total population of 250 to 300 million people, a 95% decline from present levels would be ideal.
Yes.
So you said that's going back. That's the mind of this devil, man. Just to kill, man. Is it even the tender mercies of the wicked is
Right, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Somebody get that, Bubba Kasha? Yeah, you got it.
Said tender mercies are cruel. So this nigga, his solution is really just is really death, man. Cut even from something as subtle as the surgery. He got to cut you open. He can't come up with a T or he just got to cut you open and shit. Man.
Wow.
That's the devil.
Yeah, that's the only way he can operate.
Mm-hmm.
Because you shouldn't even have, like, let's say this is an unclean food, a fish and that, it shouldn't even make its way on the same, in the same vicinity. You say, no, it is, you got catfish, you got this. You got to say, well, no, I want to get something clean. What's clean up here? It shouldn't even make its way up there to it, man. If the law was enforced, it wouldn't even be considered. But that's the devil, man. Yep, all right, come on up.
Yeah, Proverbs.
Psalm. Oh, you get a Proverbs. Did somebody get that Psalm 59? So like, you got that.
Okay. It says Proverbs 12:10. A righteous man regard the life of his beast.
And it's like, and that's gonna play out in his profession in the kingdom, by the way the law, statutes, commandments, being established on the earth, which that's gonna contribute to life. Like the elder brother said, just concerning your diet, you ain't gotta guess and you gotta look on the menu and just make sure that bacon don't come on your sandwich and no shit like that, man.
Yes.
In this place,
Crazy,
man. Said they regarded the life of the beast, so it means in the kingdom, life is gonna prosper, man. You got it out.
But the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel.
And just for an example, you go into these different humane societies, animals and shit. First thing that nigga do when he so-called rescue them, just cut them off, man. Cut they ride off and shit, man.
Spade and neuter.
Spade and neuter, man.
That's the sword.
Fuck a man. That's a sick nigga, man. Sick dude. We said, but that's his tender mercy.
Hey, he got a cool film. He got a. That boy got a turban, a staff, a Quran, a pocket, shit, boy, all of that
bag of books.
Boy, that one boy talking about the Venus was pregnant. Mine of Jake, man. That's why you gotta just You know where that's gonna lead. You'll never get to the bottom of that with that, because it's just, you know what I mean?
What you want that Psalm 59?
Yeah, Connie, was there any more on that out?
Oh no, that was it.
All right, Connie, let's get that Psalm 59. Start at the top.
Psalm 59, verse 1. It reads, "Deliver me from mine enemies, O my power. Defend me from them that rise up against me."
Right, and this applies to Esau in his lifetime. All right? Go ahead.
Like,
Hey, because the so-called white man is going to rise up against us. That's in the prophecy. Because you have a lot of jakes out there that, celebrate the fact that they're Israelites. They set up these, like you had the guy, he on ST. Did y'all hear the message?
yeah.
And, he pretty much hijacked brothers' ideas and he take the image and he's going to sell in it. And that's because he don't really understand what this is about. Jake look at Israel as just another phase, somewhat of a Wakanda, Oh yeah, niggas with dashikis and what I'm thinking about too, that little nigga T.I. came out and said, yeah, no, man, respect this Wakanda. But hey, that's what happened with Jake because they're on a low level. Scriptures say knowledge is too high for a fool. But what this message really promotes, coming into the fold, all right, aligning and associating yourself once more with being an Israelite, reconnecting with your, with your nationality, is a dangers, hidden dangers that come with that, man. But you find out you have a bloodthirsty enemy. That's why the scriptures always promote, the fear factor of being enlightened. I heard that speech and I was afraid. Noah, moved by fear, because you wake up to the fact that, look, there's a power that's dealing with you, and his anger is still kindled against Israel. You know how we know that? Because the deliverance is such a heavy story. The fact that the Lord is going to deliver a remnant, that shows you how scary of a situation it is. That shows that the Lord's anger is still kindled, man. Think you coming in here, you doing the Lord a favor. All right, come on.
It said, "Deliver me from the workers of iniquity."
Right, yep. The workers of iniquity. Is there any more quotes over there?
You're
That's going to have to be a thing, man, because if you don't believe us when we tell you, then the devil we let him say it out of his own mouth. Go ahead, Al.
This is Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. It says, "In the event that I am reincarnated."
Whoa, see? He said in the event that he's reincarnated, which them devils, they know about reincarnation, especially those higher ups. Go ahead, Al.
It says, "I would like to return as a deadly virus."
Oh, so he said, look at this nigga, man. And he was dead serious. That's in his memoirs. He wasn't joking, and let's just say we give him the benefit of the doubt. The nigga was joking. You still gonna say, hold up, man. That's still sick.
Yeah.
Cause Jake, we have like, man, if I could do, I wish to have it all. I wish to not be in a situation like this again, man. My people, I ain't to worry about my people all messed up, and we run things. This nigga, this is his desire to come back as a virus. Crazy, man. But we giving you a glimpse into the mind of Esau. And we got the power to do that too through the Holy Scriptures. With the things that he said in his debate chamber.
Hell yeah, that's it.
All right, come on.
It says, "I would like to return as a deadly virus in order to contribute something to solve overpopulation."
See that? And that proves that that's Esau. That was Esau's plan. Because I forget which one of those guys made the statement. They had to come up with a cleaner way to kill off everybody. Not too sloppy with all the bombs. That's so you devils, man. They came up with let's just do it a little cleaner. Where we just send a virus. You know, we'll spray the air with chemtrails. We'll poison the water of the people, the food. See, really everything here in America is contaminated. Everything, man. Yep, come on.
Proverbs 4:16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall.
Yep, that's the so-called white man's driving motivation, to cause some to fall. Because he's driven by blood. Matter of fact, we read that in Psalm 59, the bloody man. Go back to that again. And if you want, you can look up some of those words. Okay? Now, can I say something, right? On a smaller scale, the so-called white man, he have to kill. That's why you have big game hunting. Where this nigga sit up in the lurky places, he'll sit in a tree stand, he'll camouflage himself, and he'll kill the animals for sport. It's not out of survival, because them motherfuckers be rich, they're on a retreat, they got a whole hunting thing set up. But the reason why I want to bring that up, because they do that for a quick fix. You know, you have a drug dealer, he need a quick fix to suffice that itch, that twitch. Well, that's the so-called white man. He have to draw blood. Yep, go ahead, Go read that again, Salaki.
Proverbs 4:16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence.
Right, this is what consumes them, you know. Right, this is what satisfies them. The bread and wine of violence that prove that this is how the so-called white man lives. Remember it said, by that sword thou shalt live. So this is how this is what suffice, this is what contributes to him living, killing you. Hey, that's why we had to warn you of this man. All right, come on.
I got a quote. It's a quote from Tacitus, referring to the Romans. They make a desert and call it peace.
Right, and we know the Romans is synonymous with who? Esau, the so-called white man. The Romans is the so-called white man. Read it again,
It says they make a desert and call it peace.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of too? The peacekeepers. All right, you get a message that the so-called white man going to send forth his peacekeepers. So you're like, okay, cool. You know, we can sit down and all of a sudden you hear choppers, you hear goddamn Black Hawks, and you got Edomites coming down off a damn rope with machine guns. Those are the peacekeepers. Go ahead.
That was it.
Oh, that was on it?
I got a quote. Ronald Reagan.
He was one of the more beloved presidents amongst these devils.
The plug.
Yeah, the plug. And you know what, too? Those Edomites out there, they sitting on Trump. They think Trump gonna come back too, some kind of way. Hey, because these devils ready to overthrow the government. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says, quote, Ronald Reagan, the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government, I am here to help you.
Whoa. That is a terrifying. And I go back to those peacekeepers. Well, knock at the door. I'm from the American government. Oh shit. Why? Because they bloodthirsty, man. Let's get that Psalm 59 again. Unless you got something?
Yep. Kind of Psalm 59, verse 2, it said, deliver me from the workers of iniquity.
Right.
And save me from bloody men.
Yeah. Right there, that cancels out what was pitched to you in these churches. They was grooming you to pray to be delivered from some guy. You know, you go to sleep tonight and it's Jason. You know what I mean? Now they touching them and they gave you a mythical, which there is a spiritual being, Satan, right? But he's manifest on the planet Earth through Esau, because the spiritual being Satan, he represents a resistance. That's why when you go into the story of Job, what was on display? A resistance, calamities where you're designed to live. There's things in your way that combat it. That's what Satan represents. So in the earthly realm, that's the so-called white man. That's why scripture say when the ungodly curse himself, when the ungodly curse Satan, he cursed himself. That's it. When that's going into it. When the ungodly curse Satan, he cursing himself. That if you pay attention, that proves that the ungodly here on the planet Earth is actually the spiritual, the counterpart, the physical counterpart of the spiritual being Satan. All right, come on, you got it.
I get that word workers. First, I'm gonna get that word workers. It says Strong's 86466. It reads to do, to make. It says especially to practice, commit evil.
Right. So this for what?
This the word workers.
Okay, the workers.
It says to practice, make, ordain.
Right, and you see that it says systematically. You see that? Systematically. They go to a system. That means these devils sit around and connect the dots that's touching your fate. And his whole thing is to kill you. Even when they sit out them chemtrails, they anticipate, well, you know what, by summer 2002, we should have a bunch of them niggas to die. That's why they categorize you the age brackets. The older people, they want to know, you got to come on get it. You know what I mean? Because we need you to be out of here. But systematic. And that goes into the workings of a hunter too, because a hunter calculates. We brought that up through the spirit. You don't see a hunter in the woods mowing you down, on fire with an AR-15 and chop down the woods. He sit there quietly, and it's all systematic. He might give off a call, you know what I mean? He gets off on the thrill of the kill. To actually see you die. All right, come on. Is it any more?
This that word bloody. Strong's 1818. It says jump down to the Strongs. It reads bloodshed, bloodthirsty.
Yeah. So Esau is a bloodthirsty man. And really, he's thirsty for the blood of Israel. That's his prey. Y'all brought that out earlier, right? He had his eyes probably set against the poor. So if you was taking notes on that, you'll know that this man actually has a certain choice of prey, just like these predators. For example, like the river, I think it's the river otter, or something like that. There's a certain fish. Is it the? I want to say a salmon too. In the salmon family, them bears into that too. But yeah, certain when you go into the in-depth, nature and desires of these, and they actually have certain things that they desire. Yeah, it was built to eat it. Well, that's Esau. Esau desire is to devour Israel. He gets off on the blood of Israel. That's why you remember the video we had them two. It was in Alabama. Two Edomite little bitches. They said they desires to shoot niggas in the Walmart. Well, that's pretty much going into the true nature of you devils, man. You get off on the blood of Israel. All right, got some?
Yeah, I got a quote. This is from Eric Pianka. It reads, war and famine would not do. Instead, disease offered the most efficient and fastest way to kill the billions that will soon die.
Whoa. That's crazy. And by the way, you got the CDC, which is I I should have put the FBI up there, man. Put a disclaimer, but you know, CDC, that's an acronym for the Center of Disease Control. So it's not the eradicating of diseases, it's the controlling of diseases. So like if you go to your kitchen and you got your turmeric and cayenne pepper, you got it labeled. You pull it out as you know, according to how you want it. That's how these devils got. They got HIV, you know, labeled. Polio labeled. Or whatever, you know, I'm just throwing diseases out there. The monkeypox and I gotta be careful with that though too, though. You know, real tough with these devils, man. Yeah, they'll come with that. All right, come on.
Come on. I jumped down just a little bit. It says my favorite candidate for eliminating 90% of the world's population is Ebola, because it is both highly lethal and it kills in days instead of years.
Right. Whoa. Yeah, so you remember you had the Ebola, and that you remember that came out too, and which is still out here though. You know, it's just according to Esau, how they want to pitch and package it to you through their media. Now we got another disease, or we got another breakout of Ebola, but this is a more dangerous form of it. Where them devils go back to the lab and put their little ingredients in it and they release it back out to the planet Earth. But what's the point here? The scriptures speak about that. And scriptures don't shy away from naming names. It tells you that it's Esau Edom, the bloody man, the so-called white man. All right? The adversary of the planet Earth. See? Anything else?
I got something real quick.
Yeah, come on.
This
we ready to close up, but anybody else got something? Bring it out in succession.
Okay.
If you got it.
This is a quote from Henry Rich Henny. It says, "Money is the god of our time, and the Rothschilds is his prophet."
Whoa. And they name had to come up. Which that goes back to the red. Rothschild goes back to red child. Yep, come on. Is anyone else? If you want to expound too on it more, you can.
Because if I may, just going back predictive programming, like I said, they got the different HIV. They know when disease gonna come out, what year, what time. Because like I said, they the ones that's for the lack of better words, the Lord, He control everything, but He put the spirit on these devils to push things out.
Right.
You know, that's why they so-called predicting the second pandemic.
Yeah. That's a great point. Yep. Yeah, the Lord using them to promote. The death. Yeah, that's the guy to promote the sword. Andrew Jackson. That was the quote, man. It's a cold quote. That sword was meant to have blood on. So what you expect? What you expect from this man? All right, yep, come on.
I got a precept. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 8. It says, "Therefore he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid."
Right. This devil, man, that links up to Jeremiah. Is that Jeremiah 49? I have made Esau bare. So it's no longer the phase of, is that a gerbil? You're like, hell no, that's the light. That's a damn rat. All right, go ahead.
Okay, it says, "Neither shall vengeance, when it punisheth, pass by him."
Right, so you think the so-called white man going to get away with all the offenses he have committed? No. Once the Lord opened up and that judgment, play out in this perfection, it's going to be an effort to sweep away the so-called white man. Oh, which when you go into what's that? The besom, however you want to, of destruction. It's similar to a broom, right? But when you literally go into that word, it goes into get rid of the dirt or some shit like that. Yeah. Matter of fact, see if you can pull it up. It's been a minute. Right, yeah. Yeah, I think is that word. Yeah, based on go down to the Strong's or something. Is it?
Strong's H4292. It says
Yeah, yeah.
it says a broom as removing dirt
Yes.
to remove dust.
Yeah.
On that chair.
Yep.
Yeah.
The chap on the floor. Yeah. So that's what this. Yeah. No, so to get rid of this, get rid of Esau, man. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, kind of.
Hey, so anything else out there?
I'm gonna finish out.
Oh, yeah, Slacker,
Wisdom of Solomon 1:9. It says, "For inquisition shall be made into the councils of the."
Oh, Slacker, yep. And you left off. It said, neither the works when they pass over him will not miss him, because hey, that's the cleansing process. That's how the Lord got to get rid of that filth that we've been going into, expounding on. You know, the evil practices, the wicked devices of the so-called white man. That's going to eventually be swept away. That's the definition of removing the dirt, man. That's the cleanse, yeah. The cleaned dissolve. Yeah, you got that.
It says, "For inquisition shall be made into the councils of the ungodly, and the sound of his words shall come unto the Lord for the manifestation of his wicked deeds."
Whoa. And it's an example that we bringing out, you know, the scripts, his transcripts, this nigga speaking. His own words condemn him. So we don't really have to go into any in-depth analysis, extensive breakdown to convince you that the so-called white man is the offender that the scripture speaks about. The nigga just said this up, all these different quotes where he's promoting blood, you know? And we turn right around in the scriptures, support it, filter through the scriptures. All right, come on, anything else out there? Hey, so with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, HaKadosh. Double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders, great millstone. Shalom to the fellow laborers out there. And as always, you believe us. Till the next time, shalom.
Shalom, DTA, Abba, soon.
Tonight.
Very soon.